All right, thanks, guys. Real quick, just want to say rest in peace to the Trump Plaza in Atlantic City. They imploded it this morning. So, a lot of good memories there. But anyway, Kentucky takes on Vandy, 7 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Kentucky's minus 3.5, totals 142. And if you like Vandy in an upset at home here, they're plus 150 on the money line. We're 3-1 in our last 4 NBA tier membership plays on my website. We're also 8-2 in our last 10 $1.99 daily best plays on that website as well. Now, Vandy's coming fresh off a 21-point blowout win over Mississippi State. The Commodores are also a perfect 4-0 against the number in their last 4 ball games, 7-2 against the spread in their last 9. Scottie Pippen Jr. scoring over 20 points a night for the Commodores, 2 boards and 5 assists for the sophomore guard. Pippen's also recorded 27 total steals on the season. Meanwhile, Dylan Dessou is scoring nearly 14 a night himself, along with 8 rebounds. The 6'9 forward has recorded 17 steals and 18 total blocks as well. Vanderbilt is covering 60% of their home games, and the average 76 points a night at Memorial Gym. They're taking on a Kentucky squad who scores only 65 points a game when they travel, and they've lost 8 out of their last 10 games away from home. Kentucky's just 2-7 straight up in their last 9 ball games at any location, and they failed to cover the number 8 times during that span. The Wildcats are making just 41% of their field goals this season. When it comes to the total in this one, Kentucky's gone 80% to the under in their games away from their home court. A couple of neutral site games thrown into the mix there. Meanwhile, Vanderbilt saw their last 3 straight stay under the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Vanderbilt Commodores plus 3.5 and the under 142. Next contest, it is going to be Arizona State versus USC, 8 p.m. Eastern start time. The USC Trojans are laying 10 points at home, totals 148.5. Now the Trojans have won their last 6 straight, 10-1 straight up on their home court this year. USC's in the top 15 in offensive rebounding, top 5 in defensive field goal percentage. Evan Mobley scoring 16 points a game along with 9 rebounds and a couple assists. Now the 7-foot freshman has also recorded 18 total steals and 63 total blocks thus far in the season. Meanwhile, Taj Edey is scoring nearly 14 a night himself. 2 rebounds and a couple assists a night for the senior guard. USC allows just 63 points a game, and they hold their opponents to just 37% shooting from the field at the Galen Center. Now they're taking on a Sun Devil program who's failed to cover the point spread in 8 out of their last 10 ball games. ASU's making only 30% of their three-pointers on the road, and they find themselves giving up 77 points per contest. Now, total-wise, Arizona State saw 3 out of their last 5 contests stay under the line, 3-1 to the under as the official road team. Meanwhile, USC saw 2 out of their last 3 stay under the total themselves, 9-1 to the under in their last 10 meetings with the Sun Devils. I'm going to lean toward the USC Trojans minus 10 and the under 148.5. All right, next contest I have for you, not on our big screen behind me, but it is going to be Duke versus Wake Forest, 8:30 East. Duke's minus 6.5, totals 138. And if you like the Wake Forest Demon Deacons in an upset win on their home court here, they're plus 230 for some money line cash. And despite their current record, Wake Forest, they've been one of the best covering teams in the ACC over the past month or so. They're 2-0 against the number in their last couple of games, 7-1 against the number in their last 8. Now, the Demon Deacons give up just 63 points per contest on their home court, and they've won 5 of 7 at the Coliseum thus far. Davian Williamson is scoring over a dozen a game along with 2 rebounds and a couple assists. The junior guard is also making 43% of his three-pointers, and he's recorded 22 total steals defensively. Meanwhile, 6'8 junior Isaiah Musius is averaging double-digit points a night, along with 5 rebounds. They're taking on a Duke team who dropped 3 out of their last 4 ball games, and they posted a record of just 3-6 straight up in their last 9. Duke's also struggled to cover the point spread recently, going just 30% against the spread in their last 10 contests as well. Duke's letting their opponents make nearly 40% of their three-pointers when they travel. And when it comes to the scoring in this one, 3 out of Duke's last 4 ball games got over the number. They also went 60% to the over in their last 10. The Blue Devils have also gone 13-6 to the over in their last 19 conference games. I'm going to lean toward the Wake Forest Demon Deacons plus 6.5 and the over 138. All right, next matchup, it is going to be in the Big Ten. I'm talking about Minnesota versus Indiana, 9 p.m. Eastern start time. Indiana's minus 6.5 at home, totals 137. Now the Hoosiers, they've been kind of sloppy at home this year. 4 losses on their home court, just 4-5 against the number in those 9 home games. And regardless of location, the Hoosiers have failed to cover the number in 5 out of their last 7 outings, and they shoot just 32% from beyond the arc at Assembly Hall. They're taking on a Minnesota team who, despite struggling a little bit struggling significantly on the road here this season, they have covered the number in 3 out of their last 4 ball games, and they do average 75 points a game overall for the season. Marcus Carr is scoring nearly 20 a game right now, 4 rebounds, 5 assists for the junior guard. Meanwhile, 7-foot center Liam Robbins is averaging over a dozen a night himself, along with 7 boards and 55 total blocks on the year. Total-wise, Minnesota's last 3 straight all fell under the number, 80% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, the Hoosiers saw 6 out of their last 10 contests with Minnesota stay under the total themselves. I'm going to lean toward yet another underdog in this one. Give me the underdog Minnesota Golden Gophers plus 6.5 and the under 137. All right, next contest. I think it's our next and final matchup for the show, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, it is going to be South Carolina versus Tennessee, 9 p.m. Eastern start time. Tennessee's minus 11 at home, totals 143.5. Now, Tennessee's 11-2 straight up on their home court. Top 15 in the country defensively in points allowed. The Volunteers are giving up just 60 points a game on their home court, and they limit their opponents to just 29% shooting from beyond the arc. Jaden Springer's averaging a dozen a night, along with 3 rebounds and a pair of assists for the youngster here. The freshman guard has also hit 15 of 28 from beyond the arc. Meanwhile, Keon Johnson is averaging double digits, scoring a game himself, 3 rebounds, 2 assists for the 6'5 guard as well. They're taking on a South Carolina team who lost their last 3 straight, and they also posted a record of just 2-7 straight up in their last 9. The Gamecocks are making just 31% of their three-pointers. They're also allowing 77 points a night away from their home court. Now, when it comes to the number in this one, South Carolina's last 2 straight both got over the number, 6-3 to the over in their last 9. Meanwhile, the Vols saw 3 out of their last 5 get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Tennessee Volunteers minus 11 and the over 143.5. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap. Give me Vandy plus 3.5 under 142. USC minus 10 under 148.5. Wake Forest plus 6.5 over 138. Minnesota plus 6.5 under 137. Before I give you my next and final matchup for the show, one final reminder that we are 3-1 in our last 4 NBA tier membership picks on my website. We're also 8-2 in our last 10 $1.99 daily best plays on that same website as well. I'm going to lean toward the Tennessee Volunteers minus 11 and the over 143. And before we go ahead and dive into some shout-outs, just a couple quick memories of the Trump Plaza in Atlantic City. About 7 years back, me and my dad went down to Atlantic City for a week. Just a kind of a little bit of a bonding gambling trip. It was a great time down there. It was in the middle, I believe, of February, so it was really cold. The boardwalk covered in ice, very slippery. But regardless of that, I was on an absolute heater that week. I was playing a lot of 1-3 no limit hold'em, and I was pounding the don'ts at the dice table. Know a lot of people don't like that, but I don't really care when I'm lining my pockets with thousands of dollars. I was on an absolute heater that week, and we got down there Monday. We got to about Thursday, just riding high, just pockets bursting with thousands of dollars. And it was late at night. It was about 3 in the morning. And for some reason, we were staying at the Trop, but I happened to meander to the Trump Plaza at 3 in the morning. Didn't sleep much. And pounding the don'ts all week. And I get to the Trump Plaza, and it's just me and another really old man. There's no possible way he's still alive, but just a grumpy, old, down and dirty Atlantic City dice shooter. He shot left-handed, threw the dice off the table a lot. And after he went on just an absolutely disgusting, foul, racist tirade on the employees at the Trump Plaza, not only did they allow him to continue to play, but I swear to you, he pounded 7 straight points in a row. And everything I earned that week gambling, I literally lost, just dumped out on the table because of 7 points. That is not bankroll management, but not one of my fonder memories of the Trump Plaza, but certainly something that probably sticks in my mind the most. Also, they used to have TVs all over the Trump Plaza, and they would have a continuous loop of 80s music videos. It was so awesome. It was like going through a time warp. So anyway, it's been real, Trump Plaza. You're gone. You're done. They tore you down. And I believe, all the Mike Tyson fights back in the 80s, that was technically, it was at the convention center, but those were technically at the Trump Plaza as well. But anyway, guys, with that said, let's go ahead. I open up the door. I let a little bit of me out. You get to know me just a little bit every once in a while. So now we're going to close the door. It's all about you now. Shout outs from our YouTube platform. Shout out to Dope Boy Fresh, Fernando Coronado, Rafael Luz, Chow Enrique, Brian Dela Cruz, Zero Bucks, Matthew Mendonca, Alex Tiesto, Alex Shartman, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my good friend, Hamza Katak. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Also appreciate you listening to my story. I'll tell you, looking back on it, it was a very fun week. I believe it was 7-8 years ago. And obviously it wasn't the first or the last time I went to Atlantic City, but definitely certainly a particular memory that sticks out. How the old grumpy racist guy just totally depleted my bankroll in 7 points. I was betting against him the whole time. What an idiot. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And have a good one now.